going to be able to take advantage of stuff like Silicon Valley living in Denver. You need to be living in it. Case in point, Oklahoma, I moved to here, to Atlanta. Atlanta opens up all kind of things by being geographic. So I would worry, once you get your image together, understand what that is, then your where you live, your geography. Geography determines a lot. Geography determines a lot. Now, once you're there, you're working. And you know what I think, gentlemen? You got a full-time job and a part-time job. Your full-time job is how you're living, paying your bills, saving and investing for the future. Your part-time job is how you're investing in your most valuable asset, you. This is where you're investing in your skills to get you compensated. This is where you actually pay for coaching, personal development, self-improvement. Your full-time job pays for your core skill sets. Your part-time job pays for your soft skill sets, or your EQ. And it's the EQ, the network, that is what's going to help you expand exponentially. Because if I were a young man today, there is no way in hell I would be living in this world alone. You need to find your wolf pack. And that's 3 to 5 men that live in the same place that you do, work in similar industries, that when one gets promoted, he opens the door for another. I'm telling you guys what I did because so many young men fail because you're trying to do everything by yourself. You need to be a part of a group, a network. If you're an attorney, you need to be hanging out with an accountant, a physician, a dentist, somebody, a couple of entrepreneurs, and somebody who's good in finance, real estate. You need to think of these as little. Think of being a Henry or a Hit Squad as being a big fraternity. And then when you're on your own campus, you need your little chapter. Your chapter is your guys. Your guys are the guys that have the ability to level set you and check you. Because the biggest thing that can throw you off at today is getting out here messing with women. Because today, in a heavily connected world, Plenty of Fish, Bumble, Tinder, hookup economy, swipe left, swipe right, whatever, that is the thing that throws us men off more than anything else. Getting involved with women. So between 21 and 30, I would not be spending any more than about 7% of my time dealing with women. 7%. So let's say that's enough to go on a date a week. You could spend, 4 to 6 hours a week with a woman with nothing super serious. And my motto would be double bag it. You better use 2 condoms. Because the one thing that could screw you up out here is making a child outside of wedlock. 1, you're not ready for it. 2, the things you need to be doing, the things I would be doing right now as a younger man, I would be in a city with my wolf pack, making money, investing, taking risks, doing things, failing, starting over. So you need to be, that's what I'll be focusing on. So minimalism has its place, gentlemen, but I would not be playing defensive. And I hear a lot of young guys talking about being defensive. No, at your youth is when you go on the attack. This is when you risk. And how do you make sure you can take care of that? This is when, if I were between 21 and 35, young Henrys, I've already told you where I live, the geography. I get my wolf pack. You need to be in a high profile gym. And you need to be working out 4 to 5 days a week because you need to build up to be an athlete for life. Working on your strength training, your diet, and your flexibility for when you get older. also, this is when you need to be taking up some sort of martial art. You need to be proficient. You need to know how to handle yourself. I know so many young men who, if you are out with a beautiful woman and somebody who crossed the line with it, you just have to wait for security to come. You need to be proficient with your hands and your feet. You need to be able to knock a mother sucker out. God forbid it ever happens, but you need to be able to know. All this stuff you guys want to have, you want to have nice stuff. How you gonna be able to defend it? Everywhere I go, I carry this, amongst other things. You know what you can do with this. You know what you can do with this. If you actually have any form of actual combat training, you know what this is. What you can do with it. You can actually break a windshield if you need to. Non-lethal. It can be lethal. What you can do with this, and it hides in the palm of your hand. Gentlemen, you're going to be living in a world where you're going to be separating yourself from the crowd. You're going to be living in a bigger city. You need non-lethal. You need a blade, and you need a pew pew pew, and a shotty. Yes, a shotty for home defense, a P365 for concealed carry, a nice 3-inch or less blade. I prefer a Harpy. I carry a Harpy. EDC, everyday carry. So I love it when people laugh about, yeah, you got that bag or whatever. Yeah, you don't want to see me going in that motherfucker. It's funny because it's true. One of the biggest ways young men end up messing up today is because you don't know how to fight. You don't know how to fight. I mean, an actual fighting system. So when your manhood gets challenged or whatever, you got to talk shit. You got to talk loud and hope nobody calls your bluff. And in a world where everybody got this, everything that you trying to build together, you end up getting into an altercation or a situation. You don't want to be seen catching the L. But see, the way you don't catch an L is the way you carry yourself. Men who actually are really trained to take care of themselves tend not to get into confrontations. Because it's the last resort. You don't carry yourself that way. You don't talk loud. You don't get aggressive. See, a lot of guys talk a lot of shit and sound like they're real tough, but they can't. They got no skills. I can tell you, most people, if you're trained, you don't even have to fight them. All you gotta do is move around. They don't even have the wind. They can't even do 1 3-minute round. All you gotta do is move around for 2 minutes. Let them swing. They'll tire themselves out. Because they, oh man, the adrenaline's going, they're breathing all heavy, they're breathing up here. You just, and you hit it with a nice 2-piece in the knee and bye-bye. Keep on moving. Serious, gentlemen, get in that gym. Get in that gym, learn the martial arts system, get certified that you can actually shoot and hit a target with your handheld. But then you need something for home defense. You cannot. It would be unwise to use a handheld at home. That thing can go through windows. I mean, go through walls. That's what a shotgun is for. Aim to the room, pull the trigger. Buckshot, birdshot, buckshot. Remember that from Dave Chappelle? Buckshot. For birdshot, or rock salt. Rock salt. Boom. Rock salt takes care of a lot of stuff. What is it? 221 1-1, buckshot, 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 birdshot, birdshot, bang. Birdshot, bang, birdshot, bang, bang, bang. Yeah. So, chat room is fast. Yeah, there's a lot of people in here. So, young men, why is this important? Get the likes up before I lock the chat room down. See, we should have over 4,000 likes. See, I got the chat room set to where people can interact, and y'all ain't even hit the like button. All right, I'm going to members only. See, why is this stuff important? What's the most important thing of all this, guys, is your wolf pack, your guys. So you should have a coach. You should have a coach you're working with for specific outcomes, personal or professional development. Mentors, most of you guys aren't going to get mentors. 98% of guys will not get a mentor. Mentors are organic, informal, and there's not a specific outcome. A mentor is kind of like a wise old uncle, but you're going to have to pay for the cheat codes, and that's what you pay a coach for. Now, what would I be doing if I were, and how you handle your social life is important, because a lot of times guys are worried about making money. But how do most men end up losing money? Being not being socially adept. I understand that making money is important, but when you go out into the world is about people. You need to learn how to look out for men who are predatory, and the last thing I would be worrying about is a woman trying to get my stuff, because you are aware. I'm not going to say you are matrix aware. You know what it is, and you can live with matrix awareness. I just call it, I don't even call it the different designations. Men are like dogs, women are like cats. All women, you need to understand, anytime you deal with any woman, she's going to go left. There are no perfect females. They're all going to go left at some point. You need to ask yourself, how much am I willing to risk? Every time you deal with a woman, get pragmatic, ruthless, and savage, and say, how much am I willing to risk, and what do I want as an outcome? Assign it a dollar value and think about going to Vegas. There's sometimes people go to Vegas just to gamble and they say, I got $1,000 to blow in the casino. They don't get mad that they didn't come home winning, because it was the experience. That's how you need to approach women. Don't get mad, you got the experience. But see, far too often, you guys go into, you end up dealing with women and you want to turn 1,000 into 1,000,000. No. Women are around for the experience, especially between 21 and 30, 21 and 35. You shouldn't be worried about legacy or anything like that until at least 35. When would I start thinking about long-term relationships and marriage? After 35. For the 20% of you guys out there who are going to be for the 20% of you guys that are going to be in the high earners, it's that group of men I would consider worrying about long-term relationships. Because if you stayed on task for from 21 to 35, you have at least 10 plus years, 14 years of being out in the field. You should have got everything out of your system. And this is the point to where you start realizing that, look, man, dating 3 and 4